Okay, so let's take a look at Blazor and how to set it up and how to install, how to get it working. So in order to work with Blazor, all you need is a .NET framework. So current version is .NET 6. So this is the LTS version that you can download the SDK. Along with that comes the runtime. So once you install these two, the next thing that you can do is open your terminal or command prompt and then check for .NET then version. Okay, once you get some return out of that prompt, that means you have .NET installed. Similarly, you can verify by simply typing .NET and it should show you the available set of options, right? So here, let me clear this. Now coming back to Blazor, what we have to do is we just have to type in .NET, then new, and then Blazor server, right? Then -o, right? And then name of your application. So let's say my app is the application that I wish to use. Then also use no-https because I don't have any form of HTTPS on my local host. So I'm going to set that as option. And here you see it says welcome to .NET 6.0 and it is asking me to disable that telemetry and stuff. Then it will go on to create a project for this particular my app directory. So here if I go to cd my app, as you can see it should have this particular project created. Now what we have to do is we simply have to type in .NET watch within this my app directory and then hit enter. If everything is working correctly, it should open up an instance of this particular my app and that we can access through localhost and a particular port, right? So this particular port we will check once it finishes loading. And here you see it automatically opens up a browser along with the port that I mentioned, 5044. Here you see it opened a default app that says hello world and welcome to your new app. Now here you get one more page that says counter. So if you click on it, it will just show you the count. There is fetch data options that will show you how it works with data. So these three demos are here for you to work with. So we will take a look at a few other examples that you can do with Blazor. So this was the basic setup and install of Blazor that works simply by installing .NET Framework 6 in our current case, right? So in next few examples we will see how to create a static site or some of the simple examples using Blazor. Now that we have already seen how to install a .NET framework, we also checked how to create a Blazor project and how to view that on browser. So that was something that we have done from command line. But now if I want to use Visual Studio, what I can do is open Visual Studio and here you see create a new project. Click on it and here within this text box I'm going to type in Blazor, right? When we type it in, it will show us the result for Blazor server app and also Blazor WebAssembly app. So let's select this, click next. Now another thing is we have to add the project name, right? So let's create a different project name, right? So let's go with something like my Blazor, right? And it will be stored in this location, which you can change as well. Then click next. Right now here you see the framework is .NET 6 that is selected by default, right? If you want authentication, you can choose that. Also, if you can enable HTTPS, you can do so. Enable Docker, that's also possible, but you'll need to have Docker install along with one Docker image, so we'll skip that. Then click on create. Now it should create the solution and open Visual Studio project mode, right? So let's wait for it to create the project. Now once everything loads, you will see that on the right hand side Solution Explorer you have your project that shows the folders and files, where you see app.razor, then imports razor, then program cs, app settings, then you have data, pages and shared. So pages basically contains your routes to home, about and other pages, right? Then next you have www root for css, then properties that has launch settings.json, right? So this is the default project that you get. So if you run this particular project, it should show you the default Blazor project. So we'll just wait for it to load, then press this run my Blazor. So below you can see the build has started, and here you see it will ask you to trust the certificate. Click yes. Then it will ask you to accept the certificate installation. Now here you see another window that has this command prompt, and let's wait for it to open edge instance. And within edge instance you can see it has created our project. Okay, so similar we already created from the command line, same is here. Now you get to choose whether you want to go through the command line route with Visual Studio Code, or you want to go with Visual Studio route and achieve the similar result. Now here you see you have your routes for about, then counter, fetch data, etc, etc. So these are some of the things you get by default, and if you want additional routes or different data connections, you can edit respective pages within there. So here you see index razor, and here you see you can make the changes, and those will be reflected the next time you run your project. Similarly, you have options for data, right? Here you see weather forecast. Double click on it, it should show you that, right? So basically it's temperature related data, right? So going through all of this, you can make the respective changes. Now if you want to use the command line with Visual Studio Code, that is a lot quicker in my opinion, but that's just personal opinion, and those who are good with Visual Studio will find it's a lot easier, because most of the things are easy to work with here as well, along with your option to get connected with SQL Server local instance or for any external database server. Okay, what if we want to add one more page to existing static site that we developed in Blazor? To do that, what we'll do is open our project in Visual Studio Code. Then let's go to pages folder, and here we will add, let's say, contact.razor, right? Now here what we need to do is we need to give our page URL, right? So @page/contact, right? The next thing we do is we add page title where it says contact, right? Then we have h2 tag, right? That h2 tag should say contact, right? And then within paragraph I'm going to say this is a sample page of contact, right? Now that we have saved this, what we can do is we can wait for it to reconnect. Okay, now here you see it says component contact starts with lowercase character. Okay, component names cannot start with lowercase, so that's one thing that we need to watch out for. So let's rename this contact to contact, right? And hopefully that should get rid of error. Now it has, and then we will see if we can access it, right? So let's say / contact, and here you see contact page is now created. Now next thing is checking the left hand side nav menu. To do that, we'll have to go to different folder where you see the shared folder that shows nav menu Blazor. Now here you see options for home, counter and fetch data. Now above this fetch data, I just want to create one more entry that says contact, right? And here I will just say contact again, right? No further changes required than this. Okay, now let's see if our command prompt agrees with that. Now here you see it auto reloaded the page, and here you see if I just say contact, it takes me to contact, then counter, then home, then contact back again. Now if you don't want this particular icon, you can go to this design over here and you have to change that. So this OI plus, you can change that to something else, right? So you need to find that particular emoticons or whatever the icon that is being used and check for that and replace it. So basically what we have done so far is we have created a project, then we added one more page to this project, as you can see, right? So we are basically moving towards creating a simple static site without having to fetch data. So I'm going to remove the entries related to the data and then going to add pages which are purely static, so as to show you that Blazor can create those static sites and you can host your project as well.